Hello, Carl Saville here. Today we are talking about the engineering design process through a experiment we did with erosion bottles. We were presented with a question, water infiltration and runoff, how does soil and land cover impact water runoff? I was able to tie that with the PA Environment and Ecology Standards, describe factors that affect the quality of groundwater and surface waters and potential impacts of human-made processes, agriculture on Earth's resources, both living and non-living. So moving forward, I had to imagine, how do I create this experiment? I did look at the lesson that was given to us on the erosion bottles. I thought that was a great way to start with this experiment in a controlled way. So moving forward, I started to plan, looking through the house, looking through the yard, what kind of supplies do I have. I found some bottles that I could use. In the backyard I found some stone, just some leaves, natural ground cover, some mulch. I also dug up some plants that I had some weeds. I had to do some gardening anyway. I didn't have time to grow my own seeds. So we're trying this experiment with a root system that's already established. So moving forward, I cut open the bottles. We filled the bottles with each of the different substances, and we started to pour water. My daughter helps pour the water and let it run through the different bottles. As I was pouring them, it became very obvious that the soil alone has a lot of sediment left in the water. As we went through, some mulch, some stone really helped out a lot. Those two are very similar. I started with it says a small plant, but it was a large plant. The small container, I was having problems with just pouring the water in. It was just running right off the side of the bottle, not even going into the bottle. So we also created a larger experiment specifically for a good solid root system, where I poured it and that water came out actually not clear, but really good, very little sediment in the bottom of the cup. I was saving these cups to let the sediment go to the bottom there, but unfortunately my dog had some different ideas there and knocked a couple of those over. But moving forward, we start looking at the STEM practices. Still need to improve, modify. I would probably have definitely used larger bottles. I would probably maybe taken the time to grow my own seeds, because by moving the dirt I disrupted the root system, so I think that kind of affected some of the extra mud, we'll call it, that came out of my bottle a little bit. And STEM practices, looking at Vasquez's chart, science, engineering, it really is amazing when we start combining these four individual subjects that we used to think of them. As we put them together into that STEM, that open-ended question, there really is a lot of overlap with asking questions, defining the problem, developing use of the models, planning, carrying out investigations. For technology, a lot of this really become aware of the web of technology. Experiment, learn how to improve, learn how to relate and adapt to future problems. So going back, I'd love to try this project again. Maybe part of my backyard, I have a lot of water runoff that comes through one section. How can I do that so that I can actually grow some grass and keep that going? The math sense makes sense of problem solving, model with mathematics, attention to precision. We really did have to be careful when we were putting these together, that if I poured too much water, it overflowed and things changed. Anyway, that was my attempt at an erosion bottle experiment. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.